Sean, also we've seen NFL players express their beliefs by kneeling for the national anthem, but when a local student took a similar stand, he says his teacher crossed the line.
It tops our news here at 6. A teacher put on leave and under investigation for allegedly getting physical with a student who refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Student in question is a 6th grader at East Middle School in Farmington Hills. Priya Mann spoke with the boy and his father, who says they're finally getting some answers. Priya?
Stone Chaney had just started his first week here at East Middle School, and now his family doesn't know if he'll be back. The 6th grader says he feels like his rights were violated when he didn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The teacher consultant comes up from behind me and snatches me out of my chair violently.
What did you think at that point?
I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on.
Stone Chaney says a homeroom teacher at East Middle School tried forcing him to stand during the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't stand for the pledge because I don't pledge to a flag. I pledge to God and my family.
The alleged incident happened last Thursday. Chaney says the next day, another teacher yelled at him for sitting down during the pledge.
I don't feel safe going to that school anymore because I don't know what they're going to do to me next.
His father addressed the district directly during their last board meeting.
It's his choice to sit. I don't make him sit. It's his choice. And they should respect that.
Marine veteran Stephen Stevens sees things differently.
I would love to be able to talk to them and, try to get their side and try to explain my side. So maybe we could come to an understanding, because I understand that they have that right to do that, but I don't believe that they understand what that right really entails.
If they're fighting for freedom and fighting for us to have choices, then it's our choice.
And we did reach out to the Farmington Public Schools District. They released a statement. Let's get a portion of that up on your screen right now. It reads in part, the district fully supports the right of each student to participate or not in the daily pledge. The teacher allegedly involved in the incident has been placed on administrative leave. At this time, the district cannot speculate about the outcome of the pending investigation. And the woman who's being investigated is a teacher consultant, meaning she trains other teachers within the district. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
And Priya, what is the family planning to do now? What's next?
Well, they're exploring their options. So far, Stone has not been back to school. They're looking at different schools, but his dad tells me they're probably going to leave the district.
That's it. All right, Priya.
What's good, fam? This is Mr. Sycamore. I want to welcome you to my channel. You could be doing other things, but you decided to spend a little time with me, and I appreciate that. You all just saw the video. You didn't see the actual offense by the teacher, but I'm sure you read about it, and you saw when the little boy showed what happened by doing a small scene of action on his father. I'm just stunned. I don't know why, but I'm just stunned at some of these things that are going on. You would think some of these people will wake up, realize that everything ain't for everybody. And you can't be mad at the people who don't agree with what you agree with, especially if it's not hurting anything. People have different beliefs. People who have the same beliefs still do different things. So, especially for an adult to take it upon themselves to feel like they have the right to put their hands on a child, and in front of other children at that. For them to think that they have the right to do that, what makes them think that the right that the children have aren't in effect as well? Now, this young black kid who refused to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, he was assaulted. No matter how you look at it, by law, he was assaulted. Now, this teacher was supposedly suspended. I'm sure probably would pay. But he assaulted this child. That's a jail time. Does the fact that he was a teacher and it happened at a school take away from what the actual thing is? Now, let me just read something to you. I read every now and then. Sometimes I just go off the cuff. But today I want to read a little something to you for you to know what's actually going on with the case in case you haven't seen the case or know anything about the case. This child sat for the pledge, so his teacher violently snatched him up from his chair. So the child says. A teacher in eastern Michigan has been placed on administrative leave after she was accused of violently snatching a 6th grade student from his chair as he stayed seated for the Pledge of Allegiance. Brian Cheney of Farmington Hills, Michigan, said a teacher consultant forced his 11-year-old son, Stone, to stand for the pledge late last week at East Middle School. Cheney called the action a violation of his son's civil rights, explaining that Stone had been making a personal decision not to salute the American flag, but to honor God and his family for the past several years. It had not been a problem, his father said, until now. When you put your hands on kids and force your own way of thinking, that's not right, Cheney told the Washington Post on Friday. On his 3rd day at a new school, Stone was sitting in class stressing about how to use the combination lock on his middle school locker, which his father said shouldn't have been the extent of the 11-year-old boy's worries. The teacher consultant comes up behind me and snatches me out of my chair violently, Stone told NBC affiliate WDIV. I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. The next day, on September 8th, Stone's father said a substitute teacher also berated the boy for staying seated during the pledge. Cheney spoke Tuesday to a Farmington Public School Board of Education meeting demanding answers. I'm going to say we're quite disappointed, he told board members standing with his 4 sons. My wife and I, my father-in-law, my parents, my entire family. We've shared many, many emotions in the last 4 or 5 days, he said. We're very disappointed that when we dropped our son off into East Middle School, we thought it would be nurturing hands. Cheney continued, what we see on the TV, what's going on in America, it just came into my living room. Tears are done. I'm mad now. We're looking for accountability. Farmington Public School Superintendent George Heights said in a statement to the Post that school leaders have opened an investigation into the incident. Cheney said that the educator who allegedly forced his son to stand during the pledge is a consultant who trains other teachers, but the district has not confirmed that. Heights said that the district supports each student's rights to decide whether to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance at Farmington Public Schools. We expect every child and adult in our district to be treated with dignity and respect, he said. At this time, the district cannot speculate about the outcome of the pending investigation. Cheney, who is black, said the choice to quietly sit during the Pledge of Allegiance is one shared by the whole family, but that Stone made a decision on his own. Cheney said that the sitting during the pledge is making a statement that he does not approve of what the American flag stands for or how his ancestors were treated. He said his son is a hero for standing up for what he believes. Others have made similar decisions about the pledge. A Native American teenager from Northern California who had been sitting it out for years reportedly was docked a grade last year when he refused to stand for the pledge. In a 1943 ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court said students have the right to decide whether to participate in the pledge, according to West Virginia State Board Education versus Barnett. So, if I, as a civilian, as a person, as a human being in this country, the United States, have a right, who are you to dictate that I'm wrong about what you think is right as far as my rights. I'm going to just let you know. Mr. Sycamore doesn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Sycamore doesn't stand up, put his hand on his chest, and recite those 31 words. Why? Well, let me just put it this way. In school, I thought it was just cool to do it. We all standing up, we're pledging allegiance. That was before I knew a lot of history. Now, we didn't have to do it in high school. It was an elementary school thing. But what made me stop doing it, because even as an adult, I would do it for a little while. And then I was thinking about that thing, and I was like, nah. Why I don't do it is not based on me not loving my country. I think the United States of America is the best place to be. We have a lot of crookedness going on, especially now. There's a lot that I don't agree with this country. I stopped pledging because they will not, and I don't see what the problem is, but they will not bring prayer back into schools. That's why I stopped doing it. You want me to pledge a flag for a country, and even in that pledge it says, under God. I can say under God in a pledge to a flag in school, but I don't supposed to talk about God. There's no religion. We can't bring, Jesus and Christ back into the schools. We can't bring prayer into the schools, but we can pledge a flag. That's why I stopped. Because believe you me, my God is much bigger than a nation or a flag. So when and if, and that's big, they bring prayer back into schools, then maybe I'll go back to doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Maybe. Because once again, pledging to a flag has nothing to do with my love of this country. Because if that's the case, and a lot of people argue that, oh, you don't love your country and you're not showing patriotism. If that's the case, just because a person doesn't go and join the military to fight for this country, does that mean they're not patriotic? Do I not show patriotism because I'm not in the military? So you can pick and choose what you like as far as, oh, if a person doesn't do this, they don't love this country and they can leave this country. Pick and choose. But my rights state, and every other person in this country's rights state, if I do not want to stand for a pledge, I don't have to. They made that clear in 1943. Hate me or love me, it's not done for show. It's done for my personal feelings of bring prayer back, maybe you'll get more pledges. I have to pledge allegiance to a flag of the United States of America to show my patriotism. If that ain't some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. And then, let me just read y'all one more thing. Let me do it this way. Let me let y'all know a little something about that Pledge of Allegiance thing that only shows patriotism if we do it. Let me read y'all some real quick. The Pledge of Allegiance is just 31 words long. Its history, on the other hand, is quite lengthy. Francis Bellamy, a Christian minister, penned the patriotic sentence in 1892 to mark the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus' arrival in the Americas. He wrote at the time for a general interest magazine called the Youth Companion, which published the pledge to encourage school children to recite it each morning. Schools would need to purchase flags. Schools would need to purchase flags schools would need to purchase flags for students to do so. In order for them to recite the pledge, they would need to purchase flags. Follow me. According to pledge expert Shelley Lapkoff, and the magazine just happened to sell them. So this magazine that the pledge was written for sold flags. So to monetize, they made people say the pledge, and in order to say the pledge, you needed a flag which you had to buy, which helped the magazine not only by selling the magazines, but by also selling the flags. To say this pledge that shows patriotism. Come on, follow me now. It was both to get people to have flags in keeping with their belief of patriotism, and then also to help their business. So was it to help with the patriotism, or was it to help with their business? Because you've brainwashed people into thinking that this flag stands for patriotism, but at the same time, you can't say this sentence that shows your patriotism without buying this flag from us. Come on now. I believe the reason the flag is so predominant in our culture is because of the Pledge of Allegiance and the mass marketing campaign that went on. The mass marketing campaign that went on to purchase flags to say this patriotic pledge that we were so brainwashed to think it was meaning something. Yeah, it meant merchandising. It meant making money. Now, for those of you who feel that it's patriotic to say the pledge, okay. But for those who don't want to do it, don't think that we don't love this country. I can go on, but I'm not. I'm going to end this video now. I want to thank you all for watching. Like and share the video. Put comments at the bottom if you choose to. If you hadn't already, push that subscribe button. Subscribe to Mr. Sycamore. Until my next video, I'm out.